Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome everyone to Endless Encouragement with host Myra Hunn. I am the host, Myra Hunn. I am very excited to have launched the Endless Encouragement today. Today is August 11th, and today we will be discussing Still Standing. If you would like to follow us online, you can follow us at www.blogtalkradio.com/LTLN. or on Facebook, www.facebook.com/learningthelord. Our call-in number for the show is 917-889-3203. Once again, the call-in number is 917-889-3203. I hope everyone's having a great day today. I know that I'm having a great day just to be able to come online and bring this avenue for everyone for encouragement and to inspire you along your journey. Everyone needs encouragement. Everyone needs to be inspired. Everyone has gone through things in their life, including myself, but we are all still standing. Just to let you know, the upcoming show for next week, August 18th, we will have Demetrius Short online. He'll be coming on to discuss his steps of success. He's having a 5K on September 7th. This is in Nashville, Tennessee. However, I am helping him with fundraising efforts. He is the founder and the director of Steps of Success 5K, which promotes college scholarships to students and financial assistance to organizations that provide after-school programs to inner-city youth. So I don't want to steal any of his thunder for next week, so please make sure that you do tune in to hear his story on his journey and about his struggles, the things that he faced, how he overcame struggles, and how he is now giving back to the community, and how hopefully that will inspire you as well to maybe start a mentoring program within your community to help the youth. As we know, the youth right now are dying at an alarming rate, and we just want to make sure that we're encouraging not only the youth but also encouraging everyone along their journey. So please make sure that you are tuning in. And also, if you have a show topic that you would like to discuss or be a guest on the show, email learningthelord.com@gmail.com so that we can get that topic online for you. Or if there's any type of encouraging words or anything that you would like to inspire anyone on, and if you don't feel comfortable coming online, you can email, like I said, learningthelord.com, and we will definitely get your message across to everyone. One of the things I wanted to go over, since this is the first episode, is how I came about the name Learning the Lord. As I thought, everyday journey, we have to learn the Lord. We go to church and we read the Bible and we study, but every day we need to learn the Lord. There are different things in life that come about that we have to learn the Lord in different situations. One of the things that I thought about today was, as a child, just think of a child and how they want to make a cake, and they come to you and they want, you start to tell this child basic ingredients on how to make a cake, and as they gather the information, the child comes back and say, okay, what do I do next? And as you go along the path, eventually the child learns enough to make a cake. And that's how we are with the Bible. He brings out things in the Bible for us to learn. But as they say, if you read the Bible and you go back to the Bible, he'll maybe bring out something else, a different meaning in that scripture that no longer relevant to you in this day and time of your journey. So that's what learning the Lord is all about. And then just encouraging everyone. I think that everyone, I know that I've gone through things. I know that I have obstacles still to overcome. I have overcame obstacles. And just being able to share that information to encourage someone, to say, I understand what you're going through. I may not be able to feel what you're going through, but let me share something that I've gone through, and maybe that will help you along your journey to know that with faith and belief that you can overcome. So that's the whole platform of the whole show, is just basically to encourage and inspire everyone along their journey. Just to let everyone know you're not rowing in this boat alone. You not only is God with you, but others have rowed that boat, or maybe they are currently rowing the boat, or maybe they're about to roll a similar boat that you're in, and you can draw on their experiences to encourage and uplift you in your time. Wouldn't it be great just to think that, okay, sister, I'm just going to say Sister X, she believed in God and she told me about that she can make it, so I know that I can make it. God brought her through that. I know that God will bring me through, and that's just encouraging and uplifting. Our topic today is still standing. And what does it mean to still stand for you? Call in 917-889-3203. Encourage someone. What does it really mean for you to still stand? For me, I know it means that, through my struggles with different dependencies, I've overcame and still overcome. But I know that I'm still standing. If you're listening to this show, you're still standing. Still standing in the faith, still standing in the belief that things will get better. You're not crawled up in a corner. You're definitely, if you're listening to me, then, and if you're in if you've gone on, then you're a ghost, but I don't think so. You're still standing. So let's take calls just to hear about people who are still standing. Call in 917-889-3203. This is all for you to help and encourage and to inspire anyone. But I know in my life, as I was, just to give you a little background about me, I grew up in a Christian home. I grew up my father is a minister. My mother was over the youth, and at an early age, I knew all about the Lord. But how we get of age and we decide that, hey, I can do this on my own. So what do? You leave what your comfort zone is. And that's what I did. I went out into the world, and I did the things that everyone has done. Well, I can't say everyone. I just know that I've done. You start to do the things of the world, and you kind of develop this kind of attitude that, everything, because the devil puts this in your brain. Oh, well, God, they said that I was going to go to hell if I drank. Oh, well, I'm still alive. So, you start to live your life like that. At least that's how I started to live. Oh, well, I didn't go to hell because I had that drink, or I didn't go to hell because I smoked that cigarette, or, I did that drug, or, I was with that person or that person, But as you go through life, and then you look up one day and you find what a mess in life that you have, and then when all your friends and no one is around, and the only person you have is just you tend to go back and say, okay, I need to fix some things. So what I did was I started getting rid of everything within my life that was not of God. And I had got to a point in my life where I actually was no longer doing anything. Thought I was doing okay, but I still felt that I was missing something. So let me give the call-in number again, 917-889-3203. So one day my sister called me, yes, and she invited me to church. And at that moment, I accepted her invitation and have been in church ever since. After a year passed, I accepted Jesus fully as the Savior, leader of my life. After a year, I said, okay, Lord, I've been walking with you. I don't know why you kept me. I've been in situations where maybe I should not have been in, but Lord, you kept me. What is the purpose? So as you begin to ask the Lord I began to ask the Lord about my purpose in life. And one of the things he said was, you need to tell your story. You need to encourage someone else to let them know that God hasn't left your side. You go through troubled waters. You go through things in life, but you're still standing. Just to let me know that I'm still standing, to let me know that he hasn't left me. I left him, but he never left me, because if he gave up on me, then I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have that deep faith, the deep belief that I have today. And so I began Learning the Lord Network and began posting on Facebook, had some troubled times, and then the devil gets in your mind and you have to kind of shut those things out. So here I am on Blog Talk Radio, looking to inspire and to encourage everyone along their way, to let people know that it's okay. You're still standing. God has not left you. He is still with you. So that's one of the things. And one of the biggest things for me is having faith and belief. And I'll tell you something that happened to me this weekend. I went to Columbus for Women of Faith conference, spiritual conference. And if you're a woman, I highly recommend you check out their spiritual conference. It is uplifting. And I found it just by doing a basic search on the internet. I really don't know how I came about it, but the Lord showed it to me and I went. And just to hear the everyday stories of just everyday people encouraging everyone, it was just amazing. I see we do have a caller, so let me see. One moment. Hello? Hi, you're on the air with Myra with Endless Encouragement. Who am I speaking with? Hello? I guess maybe they're going to take a minute to maybe think if they want to say something. It's okay. But recently I just had faith. My recent test was faith. You ever go through things in life and you have a test? And my test this weekend was faith. And I'll tell you how I was tested. I went to Columbus, okay? Got all the way from Columbus. First of all, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. And so Columbus is about 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours from Cincinnati, to attend the Women of Faith conference. I went by myself. That was my first time actually going anywhere by myself, but I did it. I went to check into the hotel room, and the clerk says, I need your credit card and your ID. So I'm frantically start looking for my ID, which, ladies, you know how we are. We put our main things in our main pocket. So I'm like, well, my ID should be where I place my ID. But you know, women, how you change purses and you start cleaning out your purse because you're going somewhere and your purse is a little too heavy. So you say, well, let me start getting rid of some of these receipts that I have in my purse. Well, that's what I did before I left. And guess what? My license was in those receipts. I didn't know. So now I'm like, okay, I cannot believe I drove 2 hours, almost 2 hours without my photo ID. And negative thoughts began to flood my mind. And you know how those thoughts come in and they say, oh, you look what you done did. You done drove 2 hours. What are you going to do now? And the old Myra would have been like, well, really huffy and puffy. But the only thing I could say at that time was, Lord, I need help. The clerk said, well, if you had two forms of ID, with your name on it, I could take that. Well, ladies, you know how we have cards. We have cards. So I had something else with my name on it. So I was like, whew, okay. God made a way when I saw no way, because I could have really missed my blessing there. I could have really said, well, I don't know what you're going to do because my name is on the reservation and I don't know, you're going to take this. I didn't drove 2 hours. We could get within ourselves. So my test was, that was the first test. But just reaching out to the Lord, I need help and having faith that I needed help. So my second trial was a little bit tougher. I got over that trial. My second one was a little bit tougher. I get all the way to my room. I place my bags down, and then bam, just those negative thoughts. Mind you, all the way up on the way up to my 6th floor, I'm praising the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I get all the way in my room, and bam, the negative thoughts begin. You don't have your ID. How are you going to get your ticket? You done drove 2 hours. How are you going to get your tickets? I'm like, oh, my goodness. So I frantically, once again, giving into those thoughts, began to go online. In my mind, I'm going to build myself a case. So when I go to Will Call to pick up my tickets, I have my case where I go online to my email to get the receipt that I got to say, look, this is who I am. I got the email. And isn't that how we do, folks? Did anyone hear me? Isn't that what we do when we are tested? We begin to say, well, instead of having our true faith, we say, well, I'm going to build my case up. Not knowing God's already made a way for us. So I got my tickets, and some told me, well, you know what, you might as well just stay in the hotel room. They're not going to have you, they're not going to let you get those tickets. But I had faith, and I said, well, I'm going anyway. I had to get rid of those negative thoughts. And had I not got rid of the negative thoughts, I wouldn't have been able to meet a pastor on the van on the way to Women of Faith conference. And how she told me, oh, it's encouraging, it's uplifting. I get all the way to Women of Faith conference, and I'm still in that mode of faith, but yet I know in the back of my mind I got my email. I get to the Women of Faith Will Call. She asked for my name. I told her Myra Hun. She searches for Myra. And then she stated my name, Myrna. I get that all the time, Myrna. I simply, I don't get upset about it because no one really in my family I don't recall, called me Myra. Everyone calls me Marlene, Myrna. So I answer to just about almost anything. But she handed me my tickets, and and said enjoy the conference. And so I just said thank you, Jesus, again. So part of still standing, I said that story because part of still standing is having faith. Yeah, I went through 2 different trials, and I had faith, but I'll be honest, because I did some of the things I did, my total faith was kind of like, okay, I'm going to build this up, but I got faith in you, Jesus. But once I really gave it over to him, I had faith, and it all worked out. And see, that's what still standing is all about. It's not about where you're at right now in your life. It's not about where you've been, but are you still standing? And you have to understand you're still standing. Everyone has things to overcome in their life. Everyone has dependencies. And when I speak of dependencies, I'm not speaking of just, everyone thinks of alcohol addiction or, alcohol or drug addiction. Your dependency could be a simple thing as shopping. Your dependency could be eating. It could be stashing money. Anything that's taking you away from thinking about Jesus, that could be anything, but still standing. So I'm going to give the number again, 917-889-3203. If you would like to be encouraging and talk to someone and tell your story, please feel free to call in, 917-889-3203. I know y'all just don't want to hear me talk all day because I'm a talker and I can talk. Trust me, I can talk. I have no problem talking. People were like, well, do you have a host yet? And I said, no, I said, I don't have a host. I'm just going to go online and talk. And if anybody wants to be on the show, they can let me know they want to be on the show. But I'm prepared to talk all day long. So we do have another call. Let me see. Hold on. Hello, you're on the air. Endless Encouragement with Myra.
Hello.
Hi, who am I speaking with?
Oh, I'd rather not give my name.
Oh, okay. So what encouraging or uplifting, inspiring words do you have today?
Well, I've just been going through some things, and, you just never really know how you're going to feel about a certain situation until you're thrown into it, and then you think about all the negative things that enter your mind. Well, let me just tell you an example.
Yeah.
I'm recently divorced, and I've been divorced for a little while, and I ran into my ex-husband and his new situation. He didn't see me, but I saw him. And I didn't realize that I would have any sort of feelings whatsoever about that. But it really took me by surprise. Of course, I went through all the feelings of being angry, of, being hurt. Because in my life currently, I am just sort of existing. And I felt, how dare he be happy when I'm not happy? How dare he have this other person and have his happiness when he didn't have that with me? So, of course, I didn't really know how to react. And as I said, he didn't see me. So, of course, I began to think of all the negative things about myself that put me into this whole situation to begin with getting a divorce, with having to experience these things that I'm now experiencing. And it was only after really talking with friends of mine and having them let me know that I'm not by myself, that these negative thoughts were really, the devil trying to get to me, and that I really do need to have faith in the Lord and give my pain over to the Lord and ask him to help me work these things through, that I really began to understand and put my faith into action, really. So I guess what I'm saying is you really can never just accept the negative feelings that come with different obstacles in your life. You really do need to give yourself over to the Lord, and it's through your friends a lot of times that they help you to see what you cannot see. There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's interesting that you talked about making that choice, because as in my story about Columbus, I had to make a choice. I had a choice of either being negative and going into those feelings and just drawn up into a big old and crying on my bed because I don't have my ID, or I had that choice of having faith, and you have that choice as well of having faith or going into those negativities. So what will you do differently the next time? Have you thought that far?
I really have not thought that far, because I'm just trying to get through the part where I'm still kind of reeling about the whole situation. And I am happy that I did not do what I thought of doing when you're in that moment and you're feeling angry. Do I go out and confront them and, make a scene? But that wouldn't have been good.
No.
I know that there will be other times when our paths may cross, and I think just having dealt with it, with actually having a conversation with the Lord about it, and just talking to him and letting him know how I was feeling, I really do feel like I got a sense of everything will be okay. It'll be all right. You don't have to embrace those negative thoughts about yourself, because that's what I did. I started to think about all of the things that brought me to that situation, and then I began to think, well, maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe, I I was in the situation because I made these things happen, and just thinking of all the negative things. And as you were saying before, when you have a negative situation, you tend to embrace things that give you comfort. Food, different substances. My thing was food, or is food, and I struggle with that. And,
but isn't food delicious?
It is delicious, and it's a bad thing that I can cook, because if I couldn't cook, it wouldn't be so bad. But, when you start, it's like 12 o'clock at night, and you're having these negative thoughts hit you, and what do you do? Or what do? I go make something. Then I feel better. Of course, you have to work. But, yeah, I was just thinking about all those negative things that do sort of take over once you have a situation that's affecting you badly. And what do? You embrace those negative things. So my whole thing is, through my friends and through being able to talk it out with them and then giving it to God and letting Him work on me. Because the biggest thing is pride. Not wanting to ask someone else for help, not being able to allow myself to be vulnerable, to accept that I am, vulnerable, that I'm not always a person that gives the advice, but I also need to be the person that is able to receive the advice and to utilize that to make me better. So that's what I'm working on, and I think through this whole thing, that's what I'm taking from it, that I am vulnerable. I'm not always a strong one. I have trouble with accepting advice from other people, that I'm great at giving it. And, it's really helping me. It really is helping me, and it's through accepting my faith and just embracing that and letting God do the work, because that's what He does. He does the work for you. It's already promised to you. I just have to let it go and let Him do it.
Yes, and that's just great in knowing that it's already He's already given it to us. And when you're going through things, and that's a big thing that people need to understand, is that when you go through things, there's going to be a troubled time, and sometimes God is just showing you so that He could build your faith up in Him. And it's not to hurt you or anything, but He has to be able to build that faith up. Because I think about, you say you have, when people say they have faith, or even me, I say I have faith, but until my faith is tested, I don't know how deep my faith is until I am actually tested. And being human, that initial human reaction will always comes first. But then we have that choice that we could either take that natural human choice, or we could take the spiritual choice. And that's the choice that we're given every day in every situation. I'm so happy you came on to share your encouraging words. That's encouraging to me because, whenever I'm faced with anything, I can draw on that experience. If you'd like to call in, 917-889-3203, if you would like to share, encourage, or give someone encouraging words. Will you stay online?
Sure.
Okay. Is there any other obstacles in life that you would like to share or encourage to give someone else inspiring words?
Well, I just want to say, don't give up on God, because He certainly does not give up on you. Even when you think that He is not there, He is always there. You might have a lesson in your pain, but you give it to God, and He will definitely take care of it for you. Don't sit and, wallow in your pain and suffering. That is not what He wants. And it really is true that these things that He's putting before you are not to intentionally hurt you, but it is to build you up and make you stronger. It is to let you know that you can do this. You can get through it. There is light at the end of the tunnel that you don't have to choose. Though He gives us free will, you don't have to choose the negative.
Right.
You can always choose the positive. You can get through it. Anybody can. And everybody can.
Yes, everybody can. They just have to hold on, because even at the darkest hours of your life, when you feel that no one else is there, He hasn't left you. He's still there. I had a conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago, and they were telling me how even in their darkest moments, they would just lay in the bed and they would look at the door and hope that someone would walk through the door. And it was only then when they discovered that Jesus was there. So, he went on to talk about how, even the people who came to see him, he didn't even think those were the people he expected never to come and see him. But once all of that ended and he's just laying there, and no one came to see him for days, weeks, months, it finally set in that no one else, nobody but Jesus was there with him. And that brought him through the end of his tunnel. And sometimes, God has to bring us down to show us that he is the way. Even in my life, he had to bring me back down. And I laugh about this when I tell people where I bought my house, but he brought me home. I grew up around the corner. Never would imagine that I would buy a house back in the same neighborhood that I grew up in. But he brought me back home because he knew that I needed to come back home. He knew that where I was at, I could no longer stay because I wouldn't be here today if I would have said, no, I don't want to move there. You're supposed to grow up and move away. You're not supposed to grow up and move around the corner. That's in my mind. You're supposed to grow up and get a bigger house than what you grew up in, and but for me, I'm just speaking me. He had to bring me home. He had to say, okay, we're going to start you from square one again and let you know, and
to your body to move forward.
Yes, and then we can move you forward. We're so that's my joke is like, I had to come all the way back home. And sometimes you have to come all the way back home. And even if you have to come back home, there's no shame. There's no need to hold your head down or anything like that because that relationship is with God. It's between you and Jesus. It has nothing to do with anyone else. And the fact that, even though what you experienced and what you saw, you're still standing. You're still standing.
Yes, I am.
Do you know that you're still standing?
Pardon me?
I said, you're still standing, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think the Lord showed me this path to show me that, not to hurt me, but to let me know that I can have that happiness too at some time in my life. And that, it's always not lost. It wasn't only to hurt me. It was just to show me that I have to move past this. I have things that I need to deal with, and this is his way of, people don't like to deal with things. They like to put them aside, or for me, I compartmentalize. So he's helping me to kind of clean out my compartment, I think. So that's what I'm taking from it. So
for me, I have a rug. I classify my my problems, and I put them up under a rug. And if any of them start coming out of the rug, I'm like, oh, no. Stay in the rug. But now that, I have the faith and the belief, it's okay, let me hold the rug up. What's next? Because in order to go back with God, I do know I have to get everything out from up under that rug. And everything, everything's not meant to be told. So some things you don't have to tell, but, you have to understand that everyone needs to understand they're still standing. The guest call-in number is 917-889-3203. If you would like to call in to the show, I do have someone holding.
Thank you so much for talking with me and for letting me share a little bit of my story with you. I'm sure I'll be listening and calling in again another time. You have a great show.
Thank you. Your story, what you went through is so real, and that's what people need to hear. It's so real.
Give it to God. I'll do it.
Yes, give it to God. And, a lot of times we're inundated with a lot of cliche type things. But to hear someone that actually have gone through and, have the faith and have the hope and the drive and the spirit, walking with Jesus, that is what we're needing. That's what Endless Encouragement is looking to do, is just give people the hope and the faith, and to know that it's okay whatever you've gone through or what you're going through or what you may have to go through, that you can make it.
Thank you,
I really appreciate you. for coming on.
I appreciate this show. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. Wow, that was powerful. Just to her story of just sharing her story and knowing that God can take her through that. That's powerful. Hello? 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 And I admire you. So. I don't think that person's just listening. Okay. Let me think of some other trials that I've gone through. As I told you about the Women of Faith. Oh my goodness, that was just awesome. And you can go to their website, womenoffaith.com, and no, I'm not a spokesperson for womenoffaith.com, but it is just tremendously awesome to be in a place to where you are filled, or you are fed, I should say, fed. Not just people up there talking. They're pulling Bibles out. They're reading scriptures. They're bringing scripture to life. Everyday situations. I have everyday situations. Everyone has everyday situations. The title of the show is Still Standing. Yes, I'm still standing. If you're listening, you're still standing. And then as part of being standing is having the faith. And the faith alone will take you through what you need to go through. Because as our caller stated, it was two avenues that they could have taken. And thank goodness they took the faithful avenue. But in life, in your everyday situations, you have a choice that you can make. You can either make that natural instinct or you can make that spiritual instinct choice. And when you depend on Jesus, everything will be okay. Now, there's going to be situations in life where you cannot see the end of the tunnel. Everything is piling on. You ever met someone who, I meet people every day where I work at, but some people will tell me this happened to me and this happened to me and this happened to me and this person said something to me. And I just look at them and I say, just hold on. Just hold on. Because when you're at your breakthrough point is when the pressure of life is really hitting you. And that is when you really need to make the choice to stay there, to say, I'm still going to stand. No matter what the doctor said, no matter what my job says, no matter what my friends say, no matter what the kids are doing, I don't care. I am still going to stand. And sometimes still standing means you have to walk away from some things. You may have to walk away from people. You may have to shut the door on a lot of different things just to state, I am still standing. And a lot of people are not going to understand it because it's naturally. You won't understand it because it's natural. Spiritually, you'll understand it. If they're spiritually, they'll understand it. But naturally, you don't understand when someone draws back or when someone stops doing things. But it's not for us to understand. I know about a year ago, God gave me, He revealed to me that I just needed to just be quiet and just listen and just pay attention. And that's what I did. No one understood it. People probably thought I was, acting funny or I didn't have any conversation or whatever the case, whatever they may have thought. But I just needed to stay in His grace. And the only way I could stay in that grace was by being quiet, by being silent, by thinking of only on Him. And that allowed me to still stand. So our call-in number is 917-889-3203. We have about 20 minutes left on the show. We also have our chat lines going on Facebook and our chat lines online at Blog Talk Radio. And our topic today is about still standing. As I stated, you could be encouraging to someone, or you can listen to me talk for an hour because I can talk. You can ask my kids about that. They know that I can talk. Yes, I can talk. The Blog Talk is blogtalkradio.com/LTLN. You can join the chat there, or on Facebook.com/LearningTheLord. And our topic today is called Still Standing. Are you still standing? Is anyone out there? Are you still standing? What are you standing? Is it hope? Is it faith? Is it happiness? Is it joy? Is it peace? I know it's of the Lord. So what is helping you still stand? You should share. Either in the chat rooms or call in and share. Because I know I'm still standing in the faith. My big thing right now is standing in the faith and knowing and understanding that, I have to have faith in order to grow. And I, just like the Columbus, those 2 trials that I had, really honed in for my faithfulness, because there were several things that I could have done wrong while I was in Columbus. But thankful I chose to stay faithful, to say, okay, Lord, you brought me here. You allowed me to be here. You made a way for me to be here. Okay, I'm going to follow in you. Of course, that natural instinct is going to come about, but it's okay, because we're still wrapped in flesh. But spiritually, you do have that choice when you are faced with things in life. So don't feel as though you're by yourself. Don't feel as though God has left you. Even if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, don't think that you're by yourself. God is always by your side. He is there. He is just waiting for you to acknowledge it. And also, part of still standing is stumbling, is acknowledging that sometimes we just fall. Sometimes things happen to where we get upset and we may go off on someone, and then we have to come back and within ourselves apologize. That is part of life. That is being human. And it's okay if that's what happened. It's okay. You just ask God for forgiveness and you just keep going. You can still stand. So I don't want people to confuse still standing with, okay, I have the faith, but I failed this weekend. I didn't really trust and I didn't really believe. I fail. It's okay. Dust yourself off. Get back up. Your faith hasn't left you. It's the flesh that took over. But it's okay if you fall. I fall. Everyone fall. It's just part of life. And it's a part of being just human nature, since we're wrapped in flesh. When you get mad at someone, even your thoughts, you can have evil thoughts. You may not ever speak those evil thoughts, but you may have evil thoughts. That may be what takes you down, but that doesn't mean you're not still standing. That's just one aspect that you need to work on. You're still standing. So do not, get discouraged if you fall. If you fall while you're going through and you give up, even if it's for a minute or a day, but get right back up. Get back up because, God is still with you. And that's all part of still standing. That is all part of still standing. So still standing, it encompasses a lot of different things. I don't know what it means for you to still stand. You can share it on the chat, or you can email, or you can go to Facebook, or you can call in, but I don't know what it means for you to still stand. Maybe you had a problem with shopping too much. Maybe you got too many shoes and that's what you depend on versus knowing that God is going to supply shoes for your feet. You kind of take over buying shoes for me, my dependency was food. I love food. Like I just told the caller, I love food. And that's, you know, when things happen to me, that is my go-to thing is food. When I get disappointed, when I get hurt, when I'm happy, when I'm sad, whatever goes on, I always go to food. Well, I'm at a new stage in my life to where now I'm going to God. So when I get mad, instead of pulling out that bag of Doritos that I love, you know, the Doritos, especially when it's a good bag and you look at your fingers and you have all that cheese on it, you guys know what I'm talking about. Instead of going there, I've learned to go to Jesus when I'm sad. And that has helped. You know, maybe when you're sad, maybe your thing is going to get, I don't know, a cup of coffee from Starbucks. Maybe that's your one thing. Instead of going to Starbucks, you know, go to God over it. Maybe your thing is, I don't know, getting your hair and nails done. Okay, we can't really talk about that because, you know, we women, we love getting our hairs and nails done. Although I grew up as a tomboy, so I do like nice nails and my hair done, but you know, I'm not a faithful one. But maybe that is something that, you know, when you get upset, you say, well, I'm going to go get my nails done right now. You know, maybe you need to take the time and say, well, you know what, I'm going to take it to the Lord. I'm not going to, that's not going to be my go-to thing anymore. My go-to thing is now the Lord. And just have the faith to know that I can still stand. I am still standing. So that was a nice topic for today. I thank my caller for calling in. Like I said, our next upcoming show will be next week on August 18th. It will be with Demetrius Short. He is the founder of Steps of Success. They're doing a 5K on Saturday, September 7th in Nashville, Tennessee. He has a really great mentoring program in Nashville, Tennessee. So please make sure that you do tune in to listen to him. Maybe he'll inspire, encourage you to start a mentoring program within your own community. We do need a lot more mentors for our youth as well as our young people, especially for the young people between the ages of, I would say, 18 to 24. We need more mentors. We need more people to talk about encouraging and things and to inspire. And that's what Endless Encouragement is aiming to do, is just to get people to talk about things, to share their encouraging words, to inspire someone to be better, to be greater, to know that where they're at right now in their life, they don't have to stay right there. They don't have to wallow in where they're at. They can understand that I can move on. I am greater than this, and I will be greater than this. And we have to give up our preconceived notions of what we want to be, because God already has a plan for what he wants us to be. But Demetrius will be on the show next week, and he'll be taking calls during the show. So we're excited about that. Once again, if you have a show topic or like to be a guest on the show, email learningthelord.com@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. If you're not comfortable with sharing your story online, and I would be more than happy to share your story online for you. Or it doesn't even have to be your story. It could just be encouraging words. Please go to the Facebook.com/learningthelord and post your positive comments out there for everyone, because every day is learning the Lord, and we have to be able to learn the Lord in every situation. I don't care if you've been walking with the Lord for 5 minutes or you've been walking with the Lord for 50 years. Every opportunity that the Lord shows you in your life, that is a learning opportunity for the Lord. Just like reading the Bible, you can read the Bible back and forth, and every time you read it, He'll give you a different understanding, a different meaning of what He wants you to do in that life, because we are all in seasons. So I don't know what season you're in. I don't know, but the season that you're in, He has a way for you to get out of that season and get to your next season. You know, so often we feel that, this is never going to end. Well, everything has to come to an end at one point in time. You can't stay where you're at. You have to keep moving. Dust yourself off and keep moving so you can get to the next season in your life. And don't get discouraged if you're in that season for a while, because God doesn't have a time limit. So for you, it may seem like a lifetime, but for Him, it's not. So don't get discouraged if you feel that you've been in the season way too long. You know, take a step back and look at the season that you're in and look and see what exactly can you take from the season that you're in. I know that I can take from just the Columbus trip alone is being faithful. I mean, well, even bigger than that, this Blog Talk Radio, you know, this took some faith. This took some encouragement from friends, from just strangers, you know, people I met on the street, as I handed out wristbands and, you know, oh, we need this. Oh, I'm so happy. You know, just those type of encouraging words. It took faith to do this. When you put yourself out there, you know, it takes faith to do it. And I had the faith, and I knew that, and I know that with God, you know, everything will be okay. But this, you know, so that's where I'm at. I'm in the season of faith. So I don't know what season you're in, but I'm in the season of faith. That's my season right now. And that's how I am able to still stand, because I have faith. And I have faith that no matter what struggles or what battles I have and what the devil brings up in my past life, because he's going to bring it up. Oh, yeah. Once you think you got rid of something, he's going to bring it up. And you have to have the faith. You have to be able to say, oh, okay, I'm not going to acknowledge that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, devil, but you have a nice day, and I'm going to continue to walk in the faith. You know, and Jesus has, you know, once you call Jesus, and the devil releases that hold. But so I'm in the season of faith, and like I said, this took some faith to do. And once, when I first did this about a year ago, I really didn't have the faith. I was just like, okay, I'll do it, because the Facebook page been up for over a year now. I was like, okay, I'll do it, but I didn't really have the faith to continue on with it. I got discouraged along the way, and that's a different topic. But now I after that season that I was in, which was the season of teaching me that no matter what he's behind me. Now I'm in the season of faith, and that for me is a big season. And it's not that I did not have the faith before, it's just that my faith is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I'm learning too in different situations, just like the Columbus trip of not having my ID, which mental note now will be, make sure you have your ID. When you switch purse, make sure you have your ID. But just those two little incidences that happened to me, my faith was tested. And it was tested. And I could have made that choice of say, I'm huffy and puffy. In fact, in one of my situations, I told you, I did make that choice. I made that human choice of, well, I'm going to show them that it was emailed to me. Oh, and I didn't even tell you about the part when I got to will call, and the lady in front of me, I noticed they didn't ask her for ID. So here in my mind, I'm still walking with the faith. Okay, Lord, I'm going to follow you. And I get in front of, behind this lady, and this lady, I'm like, oh, they didn't ask her for ID. So I'm like, well, that's fuel. That's more fuel for me. Isn't that what we do? I am prepared. If she don't give me my ticket, I'm going to scream out loud and say, you didn't ask her for her ID. Why are you asking me for ID? Isn't that what we do? So, but it all worked out. Like I said, my season is faith. So whatever season you're in, learn from your season so that God can take you through that season and He can build you up stronger in that season, and then you can move on to your next season. I don't know what your next season is. I don't know if it's going to be tougher, it's going to be easier. I don't know, because I'm not God and I don't have your plan in my hand. Thank goodness I don't. But I don't know what my next season is going to be. I really don't, but I'm learning to be faithful. I am really learning to be faithful and to love the Lord and to reach out to Him whatever problems may come my way. When I hear negative things, I am learning to say, Lord, help me, and just being faithful. Lord, you work it out. And that's the other thing. When you're asking God for things, I'm learning, I just don't want to say, Lord, your will. I make it very specific. Lord, when I was in Columbus, Lord, your will that I get these tickets. I didn't just say, Lord, your will, because he probably sitting up there like, okay, that's like going to your parents and saying, give me food. Give me food. And your parents are looking at you like, okay, give you what? Give me food. That's all you're saying is give me food. Give me food. One of the things you want to say is just be very specific and say, Lord, your will. Like I said, Lord, your will, give me these tickets. Lord, your will. But we're going to go ahead. We only got 3 minutes left in the show. I do appreciate everyone joining the chat room, everyone that called in, everyone that listened. I will be on the air next week, August 18th. You can follow me on Facebook.com/LearningTheLord. I do have a personal Facebook page. It's Facebook.com/Myra Hun. The Blog Talk Radio show is blogtalkradio.com/LTLN for any upcoming shows. All my upcoming shows will be posted on Facebook.com/LearningTheLord Facebook page for any updated shows. Also, please visit the website is learningthelord.com. Please go to the resource page. I am affiliate with the christianbooks.com, and any purchase that is made through that website will help me continue my efforts here. So please visit the website. Also I'm also looking for anyone who's looking to write any type of blogs or any type of journal information to post on the website, any type of information you would like to post out there. Please make sure you do email learningthelord.com@gmail.com. There's a couple of blog posts out there right now. Please go to the learningthelord.com and read the post. Please comment on the post. Any feedback would be much appreciated. Once again, I do appreciate everyone for joining in and listening to this show, and I hope that everyone has a nice weekend, a nice week. Be blessed, stay encouraged, be inspired. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.